going out for the green flag lap. Let's have a look at the grid.
The man on pole position then here at Zandvoort is Gavin Kirby, and he's got Michel Danmoiseau with him at the front of the grid. Luc de Kock lines up third, and Steve Williams fourth ahead of Scott Cruikshank, and then Jan van der Kooi, who's going to be a man to watch, the Lotus preparation expert who also runs in the Dutch Supercar Challenge. Could well be pretty quick around here. Paul Quinn will line up 12th on the grid, one of the leading lights from the UK-based Lotus-on-Track Indies Trophy. Dennis van den Savel is lower back on the grid with his Exige, as the cars then now slot into place on this one-by-one staggered grid, ready for 12 laps of racing. Scott Cruikshank, in his first year of competing, puts the 211 onto the line, and there is Jan van der Kooi's view. But at the front of the grid, it's Gavin Kirby then now, who concentrates on the lighting gantry. When the 5 lights are all on, they'll be extinguished. That will get the race underway. 1 or 2 are on the move already, but the race gets underway now. But as I say, 1 or 2 are very keen to get away. Bit of a jump start from a couple of drivers mid-grid then, as the leaders accelerate down towards the Tarzan hairpin. And Gavin Kirby it is who leads the way, but Luc de Kock comes storming up on the outside there. Luc de Kock tries to find a way through, can't quite do so, but it's Gavin Kirby then who leads the way as they go out of the Tarzan hairpin, up towards the Gerlach box for the first time. And then down towards the Hugenholtz box, named after John Hugenholtz, the man that designed the circuit, as Luc de Kock dives up on the inside. He's got greater knowledge of this circuit than Gavin Kirby has, and he's paying dividends already. So, race leader is Luc de Kock, and he's now going to be pretty hard to stop, I think, given his experience in these sorts of cars and of single-seaters years ago. Gavin Kirby up behind him as they accelerate their way up through the corner at Cheviac for the first time. Down towards the Renault box. The race leader is Luc de Kock, getting away now from everybody else, headed by Gavin Kirby, who in turn has got Michel Danmoiseau right up behind him in third place, and then fourth is Steve Williams, the best of the non-211 drivers, as it were, with his yellow Series 1 Elise. Then Scott Cruikshank next up, and already the leading group starting to get away from the opposition. Paul Quinn there turning his way through. James Knight, number 99, lower down the order, trying to gain ground. Mark Speller likewise, as heading then for the first time down towards Hunsrud. The race leader on his own is Luc de Kock, and Gavin Kirby is under pressure for that second place. Michel Danmoiseau right up behind him, and then in fourth place there, just cutting the corner a little bit and kicking up the dust as a consequence, is Steve Williams. On board with Scott Cruikshank, turning then up towards the Boss Out curve, the final turn on the lap. James Knight going through in number 99, being chased by Greg Rasser with his Lotus Exige, but the race leaders then make their way up over the line to complete lap number 1, and as they do so, Luc de Kock is looking very strong indeed at the head of the field, with Gavin Kirby now having to stick his elbows out and defend for second place, because right there behind him, this time past the pits, is Michel Danmoiseau, who has a long look at the inside there, going towards the Tarzan hairpin, but it doesn't pay off for him. And he's also got to be mindful of what's going on behind him, because right there in fourth now you can see the yellow car in the hands of Steve Williams. Luc de Kock building the advantage all the time. The 211 leads the similar cars of Gavin Kirby, then Michel Danmoiseau, and Scott Cruikshank there in his first year of racing has been mighty impressive hitherto, but as yet he can't quite get himself onto the same pace as Steve Williams. Luc de Kock heading up towards us, turning his way through the right-hander on his own pretty much now, as Gavin Kirby is still having to defend here. Right there behind him in 121 is Michel Danmoiseau. And amongst the Exiges and the Elises, battles are still raging on. James Knight turns through with Greg Rasser right up behind him. And Paul Quinn just a little bit further up the road as Gavin Kirby has to really defend, coming down towards Hunsrud there, because right with it is Michel Danmoiseau, trying one side and then the other. Although Steve Williams in fourth place has not yet been able to make a proper go. You saw a rather sideways Danmoiseau there as he accelerated out of Hunsrud up towards the Kummer box that takes them round towards the Boss Out curve at the end of the lap. On board now with Gavin Kirby, checks the mirror, accelerates up through the gears, past the pits, but Michel Danmoiseau now does go strolling past on straight line speed and down towards the Tarzan hairpin. Up into second place is Michel Danmoiseau, down to third is Gavin Kirby, who's not been racing for that long but really has developed very, very well as a driver over his limited time in motor racing. And then fourth is Steve Williams as the cars thread their way now up through the Gerlach box, down towards the left-hander of the Hugenholtz corner. And as they accelerate from that, they've then got the long run up towards the top of the circuit, heading up towards Cheviac this time around. You're on board with Gavin Kirby. Meantime, lower down the order, a bit of task wheel as a rather sideways Mark Speller arrives at the Hugenholtz box, gets away with it. James Knight up on the inside of Paul Quinn there, Quinn in the yellow car, but ahead goes James Knight, gains the place there. These two regularly race against each other back in the UK, and they're continuing their scrap here into Holland in this Lotus Cup Europe round. So James Knight accelerates out of the corner, Paul Quinn having faded a little bit Paul has been struck down more than once this year by mechanical woes, particularly at Anglesey in the UK. Lotus-on-track in his trophy. Got through free practice, went no further with the car crying enough on him there and then. But here, he's still racing well, even though he's lost a place to James Knight. But I just wonder whether he's going to be able to come back and retaliate once more. Michel Danwoiseau through second, and now up into third place is Steve Williams. Has Gavin Kirby got a problem? He's certainly fading, isn't he now? Williams up and past him, and Gavin Kirby no longer being able to offer very much by way of retaliation. Heading now down through the gears, turning in towards the Kumho-Bocht short straight, and then into the next right of the boss curve at the end of the lap. Another good scrap raging on here. 151 is Olivier Cunha, right up alongside Mark Speller. And Mark with lots of experience and one-mate racing back in the UK. Things like Minis, Clios, started off in the Super Coupe Cup very successfully, hangs on to the place for now, but he runs wide there, kicks up the dirt, and round the outside goes Olivier Cunha, and that gives him the place. For third place here though, turning into the Tarzan hairpin. We've got the yellow car of Steve Williams, the Elise, ahead of Gavin Kirby in the 211. Gavin, who started off in the production class of the Elise Trophy, now looking to get his place back once again. The next pair almost leaning on each other here are Edwin Dijkman, driving number 130, and Dennis van den Sarvel in 146, who's been elbowed out wide. The two Dayglow Orange XCGs looking like highlighter pens, then running together as they scrap now up towards the Kumho-Bocht. For the last time though, out of the Hugenholz curve comes this fight between Steve Williams and Gavin Kirby for third place. On board with Kirby. Grabs a gear. Meantime, the fight between Dijkman and van den Sarvel is still hard at it. Those two nose to tail now as they thread their way once more through the Renault-Bocht. And somebody goes way out wide there into the gravel. That's Danwoiseau! Michel Danwoiseau from second place has had a big spin now. Is that going to cost him much time as Gavin Kirby makes the move for third on the inside of Steve Williams? Danwoiseau rejoins, brings dust onto the circuit as well, and he's going to keep second place. Gavin Kirby discovers all of the dust and dirt brought onto the circuit after Danwoiseau's spin. He's able to hang on to the car, but all of a sudden the adhesion just disappeared for Gavin Kirby, who's got himself back up into third place ahead of Steve Williams. Luc de Kock, though, is set fair for a race win, as there you can see a real charge being mounted now by number 2, Malcolm Eaton, to try to get himself up ahead of James Knight. But the checkered flag is at the ready, and there's going to be a win here at Zandvoort for Luc de Kock, who sprints his way up over the line now to take the flag. Luc de Kock victorious. Second across the line should be Michel Danwoiseau despite that spin, but he's going to be a long way back.
And a round of applause for your winner of production class here at Zandvoort, Mark Speller. Winner spells. A round of applause for your race winner and first in modified, Steve Williams. For your modified race winners. And taking another win, a round of applause, car number 426, Jan van der Kai. And a round of applause once again for your 211 Lotus Cup Europe class winner. A round of applause for car number 111, second place overall, Scott Cruikshank.
We saw some close racing, which was interrupted by a red flag. Thankfully, both drivers are okay. This was it from Zandvoort. Join us again soon for more Lotus racing on Motors TV.